Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Booster J. Just back. I know I took a leave of absence. Just ran into a few things that unfortunately, you know, got to go back to the drawing board and break everything down and figure things out. But proud to announce we hopefully got everything worked out. Long story short, pretty much we obviously, you guys seen I put the motor in, I ended up taking it back out, and reason being is that we had an oil pressure issue. Changed the pump, went ahead, put the motor back in, and I was getting some oil pressure, but I wasn't getting much oil pressure. Pretty much pulled the motor back out, opened the oil pan, noticed that the oil jets had been broken off underneath the pistons. And the reason being is on the 5GO block, the jets actually sit a little slightly higher than other J series motors. And being on a 5GO block, most J series are pretty much the same, spec wise, and the placement of the oil jets. So unfortunately, this is the trial and error that kind of comes with upgrading stock platforms. So all said and done, I brought the motor back to Sean at P2R Racing. Him and his guys from the machine shop, they actually went ahead, broke everything down, took it all apart, and that's how they found the oil jet actually sitting a little higher. Now I did somewhat of what would, kind of like a stroker. My motor, 5GO block is a 3.5 liter. We went ahead and actually put a J37 crank in it, custom connecting rods, custom pistons, so on and so forth. So obviously, being kind of like a stroker, the strokes are a lot higher, a lot lower. So when that came down, the piston actually sheared the oil jet right off. So we went ahead, well, not myself, but Sean and his guys at the machine shop, they went ahead and they notched out the bottom of the piston a little bit more to go ahead and make that clearance successful. And they rehoned everything, did all the necessary steps to go ahead and just to add as much integrity to this whole entire job. So now that I got everything back, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get ready to break my car down and get this stock motor back out. Get this the parts that we need swapped over to the new motor, just a couple parts like last time, get that stuff swapped over to it, and then go ahead and drop the motor in. I did run into some clutch issues, so I'm probably going to go ahead and replace the master and also the slave cylinder, just so I can minimize any issues with clutch and drivetrain stuff. I also have the fuel system. Big shout out to Sean at P2R, really came through big time. So we're going to actually be running, because the car is set up on a returnless system, we're actually going to be going to have a supply and a return, aftermarket regulator, deleting stock regulator, and so on and so forth. So it's a full-on fuel system. Also, I modified my trap and everything and installed a Hellcat fuel pump in that. So maybe we could actually see some E85 finally, and pretty much go from there, man. I'm excited to be back and get the ball rolling. So let's get to it. Alright, since the motor's out, I figured I'd go ahead and finally change my master cylinder for the clutch. So I don't know how well. There we go. It's a little better view. So pretty much the master actually just bolts in right there. So when you go onto the inside of the firewall, when you look at the clutch pedal, right behind it, you'll see the master cylinder come through, and then the rod connects to the back side of the pedal. So you take the little cotter pin out, you pop the pin out, and that detaches the pedal from the actual master. And then you take the two 12mm nuts out that are inside on the firewall. You take those out, and then you could actually pull the master cylinder right out. And that's right here. So now that I got the master out, I'm gonna take that hose clamp out right there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull that hose off. Take that little retaining clip right there on my braided line part. Take that out so that way I can transfer that over to the new one, and then I should be all set. Put it back in, bolt it up, and connect the pedal. Got everything swapped over to the new motor. Time to put it in. Alright, so I got the billet fuel rails in, injectors obviously all in. I have my AN fittings. These are going to be 6 to 6, 6 to 6. This side is 6 to 8, and then this is my 8 AN feed. Pretty much ran up, fastened it along with the factory. What used to be the supply line is now the return line, and then obviously the 8 AN is going to be the feed. So that runs right down the firewall with the factory one. And I'm still running it underneath. Alright, fuel system's all set. These two are my feed, straight to the tank, to the pump. Got the return here on this side, going up to my fuel regulator. Same thing for this side, goes up, comes back, connects to the fuel regulator, goes down, runs along the firewall, and then connects to the factory return. Or actually, the factory, what used to be a feed, is now the return. And then the 8 AN is the new feed. Alright, so I got a head start on my fuel pump assembly here. So pretty much this is the top hat. Most of you will probably know that part. So I already pre-started fitting these on here. This will be my new feed. This will be my return, because this used to be returnless. So what I did is I separated obviously the top hat from the bottom. And then I went ahead, this is the sleeve for the pump. And in order to get this to fit in the tray, obviously I removed the filter, I removed the little regulator, and now this used to be like this, and that's how that sleeve used to sit inside here. So what I did is I cut this off, because this is set up for the factory pump to flow through to the regulator and everything on the side of this. So by cutting that, I can actually just completely just not use this at all. So then what I had to do is I had to shave the rest of this out of here. So now I got my Hellcat pump. I'm gonna use this little sock on it because it fits in the cup perfectly. So that's gonna go in there. Pump's gonna drop like that. So you're gonna have to align the sock up with the cutout. So really, it's kind of hard to hold my phone in it. I don't have my stand with me right now. So what we'll do is we'll do this. We'll set this pump in here. There we go. Slide the sock over, or the sleeve rather. So that sits in just like that. And so what I did, so I took this ring, I put the pump in the sock, and I sat this into the cup to see where it sat. And then I put this bracket down, just marked it with a marker where it needed to be. And then I took it all back out, and then I screwed this onto the cup where it needs to be. So now the pump fits in with the sock and everything like that. And this isn't gonna go anywhere, it's nice and solid. So now all I gotta do, put my top hat back on with the spring and everything like that, run my hose up to the feed, and then just drop the return down into the basket. And that's it. Finally got the damn thing figured out. Look forward to getting it in. Alright guys, went ahead, pulled out the old fuel pump out of the tank. This is the old one. As you can see, it's just a single setup, so this is both your feed and your return. The regulator and everything is built inside. It's all part of this inner trap. And then as you can see, how the top cap and everything is, the wire runs down into there. And then pretty much how I had to modify that. Alright guys, that's it. Now that we got everything back in, obviously the motor's all bolted down, wire harness is all in, coolant lines, pretty much everything's all in, drive shafts are back in, fluids are in, actually everything but the engine coolant is in. So really all I have left to do is go ahead, try to turn it over and just kind of get like a preset on the fuel pressure regulator. And once I get a steady idle out of it, I'll go ahead and, I guess, bleed the coolant system, if you want to call it that. I usually wait to put I just top off the radiator and then I start the car and let it get up to temperature, and I just kind of let it bubble out, or at least the bubbles come out of the system and stuff like that until it's pretty consistent with no bubbles. And obviously I have heat inside the car, not that I need it here in Florida. But I want to shout out, major shout out to my brother at Higher Minds Drone and Photo. He was the one that actually put together the nice intro for me. Came out nasty. Hope you guys like it. I love it. Big shout out to Sean and his team over at P2I Racing. It's pretty much been since day one with those guys, and we've been pushing and pushing. Trying to figure out how to get it farther, and we're progressing finally. So hopefully soon we'll see what it does number wise. I want to say thanks to Real Street. They're like right around the block from me and stuff like that, so it made it super convenient. Got my fuel pump from those guys and stuff like that. They actually had it right in stock, so shout out to you guys, appreciate it. Also got my ethanol 1R that hopefully I can get the car tuned on. I got that. So that's all good to go. My guy Omar over at O&J Performance, big shout out to him. Ran into a little hiccup to where he ended up coming in clutch for some quick fuel fitting and a few other things, some goodies that I needed. Check those guys out if you get a chance. That's really about it. If you guys like the video, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. You know what I mean? I love the comments. A lot of people been leaving a lot of comments and some feedback and stuff like that, or just general questions and stuff like that. Love it. Thank you. Keep it coming. That's what it's all for, right? But stay tuned, and I'll get the video of it actually turning over and starting, topping off the fluids, and you know, maybe some test drives, and off to the dyno. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.